Am I on?
Check 1, 2, 3. We've got contact. Houston. 1, 2, 3. This is Bob, Brad, and Mike. We are doing a live show today, this morning, in about 4 minutes and 24 seconds. And today's topic is on balance. We're going to cover balance from static positions where you're standing still, options to do that, as well as dynamic balance. Basically, anything you need to do at any age. Maybe focus a little more on older people because typically they have more problems with balance than younger people. It's inherent as we age. It's like getting gray hair. But one way or another, there will be things that will challenge anybody, any age, and we will show modifications. Other than that, it's a beautiful day here in Minnesota. Nice and humid, nice and warm morning. We are very happy. It's a little cloudy here. If you're there and you want to let us know where you live and to say hi, we'd love to know that because that's the way we are here. We're friendly people. You know, Minnesotans aren't so friendly, but the Wisconsinites, where I'm from, they're a little more friendly.
I would argue with that. Minnesota nice. It's not Wisconsin nice.
Well,
it's Wisconsin passive aggressive.
There's always a little controversy across the border, but one way or another, it's all good. So we're happy to have you. So I know we have a few people who've already commented in and a couple questions, which we will get to. I think there's one on someone had a stroke or a CVA and was asking about balance. You know, if you could write any of the more detail, Jennifer, as far as walking or is it getting out of a chair, seated balance versus standing, all that could be helpful so we focus in on what helps you. So, Mike, what do you know today? He is here. Mike's here. He's working on TikTok and has got a phone tipped sideways here. I think that's so Bob can check in and see.
Yeah, Bob Baloo's back.
Yeah. Bob is back. People probably weren't aware he was gone for a week or two. But one way or another, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. 2:22. That reminds me of that show, Room 222. That's where John Travolta got his start. If you're older like me, you'll remember that. Oh, whoa.
Best exercises for distal neuropathy. Well, most of these exercises work for neuropathy, so there's not any specific ones just for neuropathy.
Nanette, is that from Edmonton?
Eastern Finland. We got Timu. We got Wichita,
Kansas, I'm assuming.
Simba. Oh, damn.
Verna from Bellingham, Washington.
Deborah from Kentucky. Shay from Boston.
Good morning. Boy, they're an hour, 2 hours ahead of us.
Grew up in Rochester. Live near Houston, Texas now. Enjoy you guys.
Oh.
That's a big move.
Oh, they're Rochester, Minnesota, but they moved to Houston,
Texas.
Not Houston, Minnesota.
No, not little Houston, Minnesota.
I'm sure that he or she knows of Houston, Minnesota.
Earthsis from Michigan.
It's a real metropolis.
Barbara from Derby, Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut. That's a nice state. I've not been to Connecticut. It's on my list of places to go.
First he says that's a nice state. Then he says I haven't been there.
I said I haven't been there.
I know. I just thought it was funny that you started
I've
with
heard
it's a
of
nice
people.
state.
As a matter of fact, we're going to fly to the East Coast, maybe Connecticut, and then we were talking about that this morning, fly to Ireland.
Am I invited?
No, you don't get to come with us. You're no fun.
Well,
for my wife and I wouldn't travel with you. Well, I would. If I had to, I would. Anyways, what do we got for time?
Just leave me in a potato field somewhere in Ireland. That'd be fine.
Well, there you go. 30 seconds, and we're going to be live. So
we better get a little TikTok going live then. Daniel.
TikTok. Well, the thing is, if you don't know, TikTok is with us, but they have a different channel or something.
That is awkwardly close, Tanner, on his face. Get it off that.
Butterfly. Hello. 7 seconds. TikTok is going.
I can see his pores.
Oh, there we are. Hello. See, they're in a different camera.
And Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
That was sad. Oh, hello, we're here.
Whoa.
Oh, now I heard it delayed.
Yeah. What? Yeah, we got a delay in case someone says a bad word, then they can cut that out. It's
I
like
don't
the
think we have
football
that
thing.
technology, but anyway.
All right, so we are working on our balance here, having good balance. Oh, that's your line, Mike. I actually put a little. I wanted to stay organized for a little bit.
I don't like being organized on lives. We just wing it.
All right, here we go. So we're going to start again with static balance exercise or challenges. That's where you're not moving, and we'll show you those, easy to difficult. In a progression, we got about 10 of those, and then we have dynamic exercises, which is going to help you while you walk or hike or things like that. So
we should mention that these aren't like super high level walking on a tightrope type stuff,
but they can be.
They can be challenging or made easier. Just simply use support, whether that's a countertop, back of a chair, a cane, something to hold on to, or you can go without support. Obviously, the surface you stand on will make a big difference too. Something solid versus grass versus a pillow.
We'll show them.
All can be varied. Anyway, did you bring a slack line? Could we do slack lining? I'm not very good at that either.
No slack line. I never heard of that before.
There is slack lining?
No.
When you put up that rope between two trees and you walk around on it?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I don't have that option. All right. So, Deborah from Minneapolis. Very good. That's pretty darn close. You could probably jump on your bike and ride down here.
I was just there over the weekend. Anyway, first one is single leg stance.
So we're talking about one leg. Doesn't matter which leg you do it, but chances are one leg will have better balance than the other. So you may want to check that out depending on where you're at. If you're up walking around and very healthy, that's one thing. If you have problems walking, had that stroke or elderly, get something to hold on to, a cane, the walk, anything, and just test. Normally someone could stand 30 seconds. It's called the 30-second balance test on one leg. And you go like that. And if you're a healthy person, about 30, 40 years old, you can do this easily. But you'll see one side is typically stronger or better. I actually am a little better on my left side. And again, we're not going to do the timing here, but you can do that at home. And if you lose your balance on this, you touch the wall or touch the cane. And every time you have to touch or you touch your foot, you count that as one. So 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you can do 30 seconds without touching. But you count how many times you touch during the 30 seconds. Write it down on a piece of paper. Do each leg. You might have 10 touches on your right leg and maybe only 2 touches on your left. Then your right leg needs more work. Okay, so that's just a very simple way to work on your balance as well as document it and grade it. If you're are a little unsure, go to the corner. I will be doing things from the corner because if you lose your balance, chances are you'll very easily correct
go
it.
In the corner.
What?
I thought dunces go in the corner.
Mike, this is a family show.
I just said dunce.
I am going to get after you. Okay. It's starting already. Yeah. Anyways, the corner is really nice. I'm babbling. Why don't you go ahead and give your input, Mike?
Another easy, maybe not easy, depending upon your level, is standing in one place and going either. There's 2 versions of this. You can go heel to toe and just stand like I am right now, stationary. And you hold this for roughly 30 seconds. Again, if you need support, hold on. Also, make sure to switch leg positions because some people feel steady one way, but then they switch and they're not as steady going the other direction. So try that out. If this seems too challenging and you are tipping over, just stagger your feet apart a little bit and then put one forward so you're kind of in a staggered stance, but not as aggressive as a straight line. So if I'm looking at the camera here like this, I'm more staggered like this versus directly in front of the other foot. Again, try to hold for 30-ish seconds. If you feel like this is very easy and you don't need to hold on to anything, you can certainly do this on something like a foam pad or a pillow in your house. It's going to make it more challenging. Again, if this seems too simple, close your eyes and just watch me kind of struggle right now.
Oh, yeah.
You can make anything harder just by taking your vision out of the equation.
Right now, that's another thing. We could take a step back to the single leg balance and use a cushion like this. Now, what you can do, you may not have one of these firm cushions. This is actually a balance cushion made for physical therapy. Uh, but anything that has a little give, even taking the seat or the cushion off of one of your pieces of furniture, if you don't, someone doesn't mind. But again, doing that on that single leg, if Tanner, if you want to focus down there, I got my cool socks on, except for they're backwards. It's got an L on it. Should be on the other foot. But anyways, you'll see your ankles are really getting stronger because look at that ankle go to work. And I can feel those muscles. And I'm in the corner. I've got one hand touching. Oh, I got to keep that up so you can see what's going on there. So this is a way for advanced. And if you had an ankle sprain and your balance is bad as a result of an ankle sprain, this is a good way to strengthen your ankle before you go back to your sport. Maybe it's tennis or whatever it may be, jogging. Good way for balance and ankle strengthening.
Now, another way you can make single leg challenging again is just to do one leg. I find it a lot easier. Some people, if their feet are closer to the ground but lifted or even wrapped around the other leg, to make it more challenging, lift your leg up even higher yet. And then again, close your eyes. Try to stand on one leg without holding on to anything if you're able to safely. And then if that seems easy, you can also try turning your head with your eyes open side to side. This makes things more challenging, or up and down. If this seems hard and you can't even stand on one leg, don't do this. But actually picking one object, staring at it the whole time when you're standing can help you recenter your balance and make it a little bit easier if you're struggling with this. Those are just a couple options how to make the single leg stance even more challenging.
All right. Someone is says they're seeing a black screen, but I think everything is okay, right? So
it's just on there. And
it's on there. And yeah, see if you can turn the computer off and turn it on. That's what I always do. Just a little general education for everyone on balance. There's 3 things that make your body stand up without tipping over. Number 1 is your muscles, the strength of your muscles, typically in the legs and the hip, and the trunk is also, the core is involved. The next thing is your eyes, your vision. If you're not looking around and you close your eyes, boy, does that change your balance. And that goes with your vestibular system in your ears. That all works together. The third thing is what we call proprioception, and that means that you can tell where your body parts are in space without looking. Like right now, I know my foot is off to the right because I can feel it over there. The nerves tell my mind it's over there. Or when you're walking, I know where my feet are below me. Sometimes people, after they've had a stroke or if they have neuropathy, that proprioception feedback has problems and deficits, so you cannot see it. So people have to actually look down at their feet to see where they're going to help them balance. And the fact that they have to look down, that throws their balance off a little bit. So they all tie together, but you'll see Michael has already visited that. Try something with your eyes open, then your eyes closed. But if you're wobbly, eyes closed is probably not an option for you because it's going to be too difficult. If you're higher level, so it may work fine. So
some other things that can affect your proprioception are if you had some type of orthopedic surgery on any of your joints in your legs. This can just be a scope or a joint replacement. Oftentimes in therapy, we'll work with some balance aspect after a surgery as well. Oftentimes that comes back a lot quicker and can become more normal again in comparison to like a stroke or if you have neuropathy. Those things really vary, how much can come back. Neuropathy, a lot of it is more related to a lot of people have diabetes, so that's more of a correlation there of getting that under control to get better sensation in your legs. But
we've got a question from Claire, and she's talking about, I think we can answer this one right now. She's talking about having varicose veins and having difficulty standing. Now, I don't know if you mean just on one leg where there's pain involved, so it's not an option for you. If you can use both legs and avoid the pain, that's when I would go into the corner, go both legs, and simply with your feet farther apart. And Mike, could you grab that chair? In this situation, if you're feeling
You're not gonna be able to see it, but you can use a chair. Hold a stick.
There you go.
They can't see your feet then.
Bring the chair over here, Mike.
What?
Yeah,
It's
pick
gonna
it
get
up.
in the way.
Pick it up. See what I'm dealing with
They're
here?
not gonna be able to see nothing besides the chair.
So you put something in front of you so you can have, if you move forward, you got a chair that's steady. So you're really safe all the way around. I'll move it like Mike was saying. You won't be able to see what's going on, but feet further apart. And then try that for a count of 15. Slow count, not a fast count. Feet closer together is how you would do this. And then actually put a little flex in your knees. Don't do this with your knees locked out straight, because that's going to make your stiff there, and it's going to minimize or reduce your balance. So slight bend in the knees and your feet together. As you bring feet close together, it's going to get more difficult. And then go on to the next one Mike did. Toe right in front, touching the toe here, the heel touching the toe. Hopefully you can feel that. Or if that's too difficult, just move step forward so you're staggered stance. So that's a progression. And then you have the chair close to you. When you get tired, maybe you can just turn it around and sit down. All right. I hope that answered or gave you some solutions, Claire.
Emily just says, I feel like I'm leaning forward instead of putting my weight on my heels. If you feel like you're not putting your weight on your heels, you may feel like you're going to tip over backwards, I would say. So with some of these activities, hold on to something more stable, like maybe a railing at your stairs, or if you have other railings in your house, something that's fixed and not going to go back. So that way you're not leaning so far forward. You can comfortably lean back, get your heels flat down, and then just hold on for support until you start feeling more comfortable. But that's how you would start with that.
So, Emily, I do want to add, good balance actually has slightly more weight towards the front of your feet than towards your heels. So if you are leaning forward a little bit, that's actually good. If it feels like your toes have to dig into the floor to keep you up, that's good. Of course, too far forward is not good, but a slight lean forward is better than being back on your heels, because back on your heels, there's nothing to stop you leaning forward. Your toes, that's what they're there for, is to assist you with balance.
If you're really struggling, you could have tight calf muscles too. So
yeah.
Stretching your calves, that would help. But I think right now we want to show another exercise option for balance, but we're going to go back to an old clip with Bob and Brad in it.
Oh, actually, this is going to go, it's about 3 minutes long. It's going to go through 4 different exercises while you're standing and exercising the hips in 4 different directions. It's a really good exercise, static, but it relates to dynamic or walking and moving. So how are we looking at with that?
Let's cue that right now. He's ready to go.
Really? Oh, okay.
I can see it.
Oh, sure. Okay, now this is a set of exercises, very common. Most physical therapists will recommend this to people.
Right.
And I thought we can do it from 2 angles,
Sure.
Bob. I'll do it from behind so they can see what it looks like. You do it from the side. And the first thing we're going to do is you're going to hold on to a solid chair, maybe the kitchen countertop where the sink is, you can grab for balance, and simply do some marching. So we're going to try and bring those knees up. Make sure you don't bump your knee into the chair or the countertop, because that might hurt. We do not want to have pain with this. And you can do like 10 on a side. So you count to 20 if you're counting alternate, 1, 2, otherwise 10 on each leg. Okay, good posture, posture. Now the next one is going out to the side like this, hip abduction. And on this one, I don't know about you, Bob, but I usually have people just do right side and then left
right
side.
in a row.
Yeah,
10 in a row.
Show them some things that they want to watch out for, not to be leaning forward.
Right, you don't want to lean forward like this, but you also don't want to dip with it. You
Right,
got to
like
show
this.
that, Brad.
Yeah, that works
and then
good
you
for me.
also want to keep the toe pointed straight forward, like this.
Right.
You don't want to go like this.
Exactly. And this is an important one, because this gets that waddle out of your walk.
This is a big one for balance, without a doubt, the hips.
So we're going to go like this, 10 on this side and 10 on the other side. And then the next one, probably from that angle, would be the best, is hip extension. And again, show them the wrong.
Don't be doing
here.
it this, Don't be the dip and duck here.
Right. No dipping and ducking is right. Just straight back with the leg. See how Bob's got a nice straight back here? He's working a lot of hip muscle in there, and he's keeping the leg straight. Do the bend the knee thing. Yeah, we don't really want to do that. We want to keep the knee straight.
It's going to be better strengthening this way.
Again, 10 repetitions on a leg. And then the next one.
Ready?
Yeah, up on the toes and then back on the heels. Now, this one is really a nice ankle strengthening exercise, which is a real key part of balance. And I find a lot of people that are in their 50s or 60s and older have a hard time with this one because those muscles seem to weaken up. Do you see that, Bob?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially this way,
Yeah.
going up, toes up. My mom is doing all these, by the way.
Oh, good.
And we just
Excellent.
went over them last time I was there, and
Cool.
she's 86.
86, and she's
So,
working.
She's
And
still walking, but she's kind of borderline her balance, so
Right.
that's why
So
we're having her do
you
these.
bet.
And we're back.
Oh, we're back.
You're still doing heel toe raises just like Bob was.
Yeah, I was showing people on TikTok so they were not in the dark of what was going on, what Bob was demonstrating. Now, we had a question about someone that, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name.
Right here.
Jo-
Danny?
Who is it?
I got it. Which one, Joanne?
Joanne. Eyes closed, having a very difficult time with balance. So if I were you, I would go into the corner, like I said before, and you may even want to put the chair in front of you and have your hands on the chair so you're completely safe of tipping and you're going to catch yourself. Fingertips on, stand, close your eyes then and see how long. I know it's hard. You're going to have a partner to see the clock unless you've got your phone in front of you. You can close and open your eyes every now and then go 2 hands, 1 hand, both of my feet are together, and progressively make it easy to more difficult. 1 hand, and when you go 2 hands with your feet, both feet down, see how that goes. And this may take a time. I don't know where you're at, but you may, you would progress to 1 foot and then both hands on the chair on 1 foot, 1 hand on the chair with 1 foot, fingertips on 1 foot, and then fingertips with 1 hand. And it's kind of weird. You can go from 4 fingertips to 3 to 2 to 1. That actually makes quite a difference if you're in that variable range there. So that's just a suggestion for you that would offer you to progress with your eyes closed.
Now, you guys talked about hip abduction extension, calf toe raises, correct, in the old video there?
Yep. So yeah, we're talking about the strength of the hips because that's real critical, particularly with standing and walking. And then the heel to toe raises at the end are real good ankle strengthening. People that if you cannot pull your toes up like this and you feel like you're pulling back here, that means you need to stretch your calf muscles. Should I get into this, Mike?
Sure, but your chair's going to be in the way, so bring it over here.
Well, I was going to use one of these, but yeah,
I'm
that's
still
a
going
good
to bring
idea.
it over here. Tanner said thank you. See?
Oh, you should do this with your shoes on if you're going to stretch your calf. There's no doubt about that. You can simply go on the wall, go forward like this, straight knee. If your toes pointed to the side, straighten it forward the best you can. Flatten your heel out and keep the heel on the floor. Lean forward. Do that 3 or 4 or 5 times. Hold it up to 15 to 30 seconds if you'd like. Bend the knee and do it again. Try to keep the heel on. It'll come off much more difficult. One of these incline boards really work well. You can make one or you can simply buy one, get a board, put it up on something so you get an incline. But it's really critical that you have grippy here, so your foot does not slip. That's why you have to have a shoe on, and it makes a big difference. I don't want to get into the incline board too much, but it works really good for stretching the calf. So that feels good already.
I'm going to butcher this name.
Oh, yeah, we have to apologize for that.
Guillermina?
What exercise to help balance after a
Fracture
fracture in your ankle?
And can work on it. First off, you have to make sure your weight-bearing status is full weight-bearing before you start doing balance activities from your doctor. I don't know if you had surgery or if it's just a fracture with non-surgery, but anything we're doing is fine to work on as long as it doesn't hurt or increase pain. These are just all some good options. Any of the single leg stand stuff we did earlier in the video, you can rewind it while it's live and watch that part we talked about. Any of these are fine for that as long as it's not causing any sharp pain or discomfort. You may just have to use more support holding onto something like a countertop to take weight off of that ankle in the early phases, but also some what do you call those things? A wobble board.
Yeah.
So if you,
I'll go get one. We got one right over
we
here.
got a, I guess Brad's just throwing things. A wobble board is a good option. I use with patients after an ankle injury. If you are doing therapy, they're not too expensive online. You don't have to have them, but they definitely work on your motion as well as your balance. So they're good options. Normally, when I have people use them, they're in the parallel bars, meaning there's 2 bars for support, so they feel really balanced. There's something sturdy to hold on to. I rarely have them do it without holding on to anything. This one's a little different because it's got little wood rounded parts. A lot of them just have a big center circle. I think we have one in back actually that's like that.
Oh, really? Sure.
Yeah,
You could show them that one. We'll
could
need
show
it
this one.
anyways.
This one's a little more advanced than some of the other ones, but basically what you do is you stand on it. You can get on either side. Oftentimes you start with both legs, hold on to something for support, and you just work on going back and forth first. This will work on your ankle range of motion as well as your balance. Notice my posture is upright. A lot of people, if they don't feel balanced, they'll shoot their butt back and then shoot it way forward. So try to be nice and upright. Then you can go the other direction. So you're going to go side to side more, and you're just going to shift going one way to the left and then to the right. If Brad finds the other board and back, the circle one, you can actually work on doing clockwise and counterclockwise circles, but you can't really do it with this board specifically that I'm using at the moment. And then if this seems easy, it's kind of hard to do without holding on, but you can go to one leg and do these exercises as well. The in and out is a little more challenging on one foot in comparison to the back and forth, but you can try that as well. It just works on your ankle proprioceptors, which are in your joints there, getting them to relearn how to balance after an injury like that or a fracture. Oh, you found it.
Ask and you shall receive.
So this one's rounded on the bottom, which most of them are. You can tell in comparison to this one. So then you can do circular motions with this. Stand on the outside of it, hold on to something if need be, and then you just work on going full circles. Try to touch the whole edge on the floor. That's the full range of motion. If you're tight, you may be hovering and not be able to touch. So just take your time. I like to do 10 every direction if it's forward, backwards, or circles. And you might start doing this weird thing where you start getting all off balance and turning in circles. So try to stay in one place when you're doing this and work on that ankle range of motion. Just take your time.
And then I also add counterclockwise, clockwise,
Yep.
and right to left, forward and backwards, and then try and center it and hold it still.
So what's a little more challenging? The circle is bigger on this one than the other one.
Yeah, that's a nice
I
one.
also injured my ankle a few weeks ago, so it's a little wonky yet. There we go.
Yeah, so this is excellent for ankle strengthening, excellent for proprioception, which you've already talked about, and just good for balance. So, and it's a little more advanced. You're not going to be, if your goal is just simply to walk and maybe with a walker or something, you're not going to use this. But if you're going back to a higher level activity, running, jogging, tennis, things like that, this is something I've always used with patients.
So this one's interesting because it actually has different difficulties.
There
So
you go.
this is level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you turn, there's a little nodule here that makes it harder. What it does is it actually protrudes something out of the circle, which makes it more challenging. So that's why it was harder.
So you had it up on the highest one, I suppose.
I
I did that when I came back with it. I didn't want to tell you.
I figured like that, but you can see how much more it's protruding out at that angle, the top versus level 1 here. It's well, I guess I got to go reverse way. You can't just put it to 1. There we go.
All right. Should we go on to the next thing?
Yeah, we can go on to the next thing, which is where are we? Oh, standing on one leg. Well, we already talked about cushion and foam pads as options.
Yep.
But the tree pose. You know what the tree pose is?
No.
You don't know what tree pose is?
No, that's what, there you go. Oh, that one. I do
I'm a
like that
tree.
one.
So this is just a single leg stance option here. And what you do is just, let me get that comment out of the way. Stand on one leg. You can bring your other leg on the side here and stand like this. And if you want to make it more challenging, you can just raise your arms up.
There you go.
Make sure to do both legs.
Cool.
Do I look like a tree?
No, no, you
Can
know,
I leaf like a
I
tree?
don't even want to say what you look like. But
Oh.
anyways, yeah, that's a nice one. That's from yoga. A yoga pose is
That-
what I understand.
That is a yoga pose, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to get into some of the dynamic moving balance options?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're going to use a ball on some of these for the more advanced people. And actually, I've used this with people, seniors as well.
Someone asked what that board is called. It's called the OPTP is a brand, and it's a wobble board.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and there's a lot of different types of wobble boards.
Yep.
You know, this one's adjustable with the single, like the ball sphere in the back. The other one has got the rockers. So rockers are a little. This is harder than the rockers as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what Mike. It's kind of an individual thing, but you'll see.
Karen did ask if you can do it seated first. If your ankles are tight and you're just working on ankle range of motion, yes, you can. If you don't have it and you're just working on balance, seated's not going to do much for your balance, obviously. But
Yeah.
if your ankle's tight, yeah, those work for just ankle range of motion.
Yeah.
There's some other questions we are going to get to in a little bit from Eva, Joanne, and Judy, but let's get back on the task at hand first.
The task. I like that. The task.
So we're going to talk about dynamic balance, which a lot of stuff we showed was static, meaning we're not moving, we're staying stationary. Dynamic just means we have movement with balance options. Some of them are purely balanced, and some of them are kind of a combination of balance and strength, which can correlate to one another. So we'll just kind of go through them.
Yeah. Shall we go to the heel? Here, why don't you pull that tight once?
What are you doing?
Just pull it tight, and
Oh.
we're gonna make a quasi
line?
line on the floor. Usually, what I would do in the clinic is I would have either a line on the floor. I'd take a piece of tape and put it on the floor, because sometimes, depending on your situation, having a line keeps you really on task. So we're gonna walk heel to toe and just walk forward. Now, I would never use anything like this, but you can see I would actually get, like I said, a piece of tape on the floor and then do the heel to toe walk. Now, that walk, I actually had separation between my heel to toe. I'm watching what I'm doing, using a cane, and then walking backwards, because you cannot see so easily where your feet are. That makes a difference. Once you feel comfortable with that, with a cane, you can go without the cane if you want. You might want to go next to a wall or a cupboard, so keep your hands free. But if you need to, you can touch the cupboard or the wall with your hand. Keep your balance, or have someone walk with you. Hold on to your belt around your waist, depending on your level. We're assuming that you don't need assistance on all of these. Heel to toe, touch the heel to the toe, and watch what's going on. And if that's going well, go backwards, touching the heel to the toe. And the next step is look straight ahead, touching the heel to the toe. Hopefully you can feel that. If you can feel it, that's good. If you can't, that means your proprioception is not so good, and you want to work on that. And that's forward and backwards as well. Typically about 5 to 10 feet. I always recommend have someone, you got to be by a wall or by a cupboard at least, just in case you lose your balance, because you're working on your balance probably because it needs it. So I'm going to assume that you might lose your balance. So I just assume that's the case.
Couple of quick questions from Lisa. Will this content be available after the live? Yes, you can actually rewind it while it's live if you'd like, but it'll stay on YouTube indefinitely. So watch it as many times as you like. Or just go to the live section on our YouTube channel. That's where they all are. You can even watch the old ones if you really want.
There you go.
Judy just says, how many times per week do you recommend doing these? Oftentimes, it's realistically what you have time for. 3 times a week would be good. Every other day. You could do them every day if you just want to get into a routine. It's not going to hurt anything. But just do what you can stick to and pick the ones you find most beneficial for you, because most people trying to do all these every day, it's going to get maddening. So pick a few you like, maybe 2 to 3, and just stick with those ones at least 3 days a week. And what's the next tip, Brad? We'll get to questions later.
Whoa,
Don't fall over. The next one
There
is
you go.
sidestepping.
Yeah, sidestepping is a real critical part of balance, because we do it oftentimes. And sidestepping is where, let's look at this left foot. If I'm taking a step over and you don't lift it up, for whatever reason, I see someone's got one leg is weaker, and that might drag, which is a nice way to fall on down. So sidestepping, you're thinking about clearing, have at least an inch or more space and over. This foot comes over to here. Again, get a cane, have a wall in front of you, go next to the cupboard, and you have to face the cupboard and sidestep. Make sure you know where you're going. If you don't need the cane or the cupboard, you can put your hands up above the cupboard in case you do need it. Do we go into, is there, I don't remember if I put in karaoke in there.
You did not, but you can
Okay.
show it if you want. It's a little more advanced.
Yeah, and I have had seniors do this, but I use parallel bars and I'm right there. But it's called karaoke or the grapevine. It's where and it does get confusing if you've never done it. You cross over, left in front of the right goes there, then the left goes behind. And this requires more hip flexibility. So if you've had a total hip, you may not want to do this depending on, how far out. If it's been a year out, you're probably just fine. Again, this shouldn't hurt at all. It's just challenge with movement sideways. All right.
Okay, we had a couple questions. So Eva asked, I limp on my right foot. How can I make that side stronger? Without seeing you directly, we don't know exactly what's causing your limp. It could be something from your hip, from your knee, from your foot itself. It could be neurological. We can't really answer that question confidently without seeing you in person. So obviously go get that checked out, but you can look up different foot strengthening videos from Bob and Brad. Sorry, we can't really answer you more specifically than that.
I might be able to help her out a little bit because it won't take too long. It's Eva?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eva. So first of all, do the single leg balance test. See if if they're about the same. If they're pretty close to, if you can go 15 seconds on one leg easy, 15 on the other. The next thing I would do was go up on your toes and back. I would do this in the corner so it's safe. And then we're just checking a gross test on strength. Can you lift both toes up? Can you lift both heels up the highest? As one side, the weak side, we want to know, is it your ankle that's weak, especially going up this way? Let's say you cannot dorsiflex or get your toe up. Then you're going to have drop foot a little bit, drag your toe, and then cause a fall. So that would mean work toe up this way, try to strengthen it. It might be a weak hip where if you find yourself walking and you're doing this, that means that hip opposite. If you go to the left, the right hip is weak. This exercise would be beneficial. But like Mike said, without seeing you or having more information, it's hard to know. I'm just giving a couple common examples.
Joanne asks, is it worthwhile? Feet together, turn head to right, eyes closed, then turn head to right, eyes. I'm guessing you mean then to left, eyes closed, supposed to improve eyes closed balance. Yeah, you can work on that. It's fine if you want to do head turns with eyes closed. Most of the time, we just pick one or the other. You may just get dizzy if your eyes are closed and your head's turning and you're not used to it. That would be a progression of, I could turn my head, I'm okay. I can close my eyes, I'm okay. How can I make it more challenging? Is this? And then if you have no problem doing that while stationary, then you can try walking and turning your head. Don't walk with your eyes closed. You're going to run into things. We normally don't do that, but work on looking different directions and don't make it consistent. Just make it kind of random or up and down. It's more of a lifelike reaction to, I'm walking, someone says my name or something's coming in front of me. I have to turn quick. It keeps you from falling and losing your balance if you're that type of person.
Yeah, and that's a good aspect of balance is those head turning things where you're looking or whatever while you're walking. Normally, if you're young and healthy, that's not a problem at all. But if you've had a problem, a stroke, or you're just getting older and things aren't working the way they used to, can be a real problem with falls. So
Garnet says, do shoe types help or hinder balance? I would say yes to a point. If your feet have some deformity of sorts and you need shoes, obviously get the right shoes for you. Typically, I wear zero drop shoes, meaning the forefoot to the heel is the same height off the ground and it has a wide toe box. Oftentimes, these type of shoes, you get more feeling from the ground. These aren't like a minimalist one. Brad's are more minimalist where there's not a lot of cushion. You can actually feel the ground a lot more with these shoes in comparison to my shoes just because of how thick or thin they are. So yeah, you're gonna feel the ground more with thinner shoes, but also if you're walking around a bunch every day, standing for 8 hours a day, the thin ones necessarily don't feel as great. Your feet might get more fatigued. However, they do make your feet stronger. But yeah, doing any of this stuff barefoot or in socks, as long as you're steady, is going to be more challenging than your shoes. So if you want to make stuff more challenging, going barefoot's fine as well.
There you go. Also, if you're doing this on carpet versus a hard floor, the carpet's typically more challenging because there's a little give in it, especially if it's thicker carpet. That makes a big difference versus tight carpet. So if you've got thick carpet in your house and then you go to a hard floor, that change can really be a problem for some people. For one thing, it's harder to balance on a soft carpet. Plus, there's a little bit of a curb from the hard floor to the carpet, which can cause a trip. A lot of people have worked with a lot of broken hips as a result of their toe catching that little curb on the carpet. So something to keep in mind.
We will answer questions from Wahida and Musami in a bit, but we got some other tips we got to get through first. So we're going to show the next one, which is actually, do we have a clip ready for this one too?
Which one?
Bob marching in place. Do we have a clip for that, Danny?
No, it's already we already did that one.
Oh, we did that one.
Yeah, that
I wasn't paying enough attention.
That was kind of I didn't talk about
well,
that.
our next tip.
But I did want to talk about that marching in place as a modification or an advanced. So if you're doing the marching in place, you don't need assistance of the wall or a cane or a stick. The next thing to do is bring the knee up nice and high, put this hand here and hold it like that. If you can do that, pretty good. Then the next one is an isometric. You push real hard and then you get some core exercise, and it's definitely harder. Hold that for 5 to 10 seconds. I'm pushing there. Again, that's more advanced. That's for people that are pretty mobile and they want to get more mobile.
Now, another dynamic option, which is challenging for a lot of people, is actually just walking backwards. People say, when the heck do I walk backwards? If you get in a small room and you got to turn around and move different ways, sometimes you got to go backwards. And actually, in Asian cultures, they walk backwards all the time because they realize if you only go one direction, you get less coordinated and less balance going the other way. And it also works other muscle groups. So walking backwards is a good option in exercise. You can do it holding on to something if you need to, whether it's a railing or a cane or a walking stick, whatever you need. But walking backwards is definitely more challenging. First off, you can't see where you're going unless you turn your head behind you. And then also it's just working completely different muscle groups. And if you tend to fall and lose your balance backwards, this is really something you can work on. However, if you know you're going to tip over, have someone hold on to you with a gait belt behind you and support you, because this is what we do with people with really poor balance. So Brad's got a gait belt here. It would just go around on the outside of your clothes, and then this is a super long.
Yeah, that one is very versatile.
Most aren't quite this thin, and most of them are a little thicker and have teeth to them. But you just put it around you like this, and then if you have someone in your family that is with you and able to do this, or a therapist that is of good balance, they can hold on to you like that.
Grab a hold of that
underhand.
Right.
Because you can hold better. So that way, if you lose your balance, if I was going backwards, Brad could stop me like that. So that's a good option.
Very good. All right. We want to talk about the clock reach.
Yes. Now, this one, I think we got some tape sticking on the wall here. We can use this as an option.
We're going to, you may need a cane or something to hold on to for this one for sure. There's going to be 1 foot in the middle, and we're going to imagine a clock, a big clock about 4 foot in diameter. You got your foot in the middle, and there's going to be 12 o'clock, which we're going to put a little mark there.
I'm just going to do a few because we don't have a lot of tape ready. 6 o'clock, and then we got 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah. So we're in the middle of the clock. Now, this is an analog clock. It's not digital. For the younger people, you're thinking digital because that's how they know.
I just look at my phone. I don't know.
So this goes around like this. So we're going to touch 12 o'clock. You might want to start here. And then 3, 6, and then over the front towards 9. As you get better, and make sure you do both feet. Do, and forward. Cane as you need it. You might be able to do it without it. Then you reach farther out, farther out, farther out. and always across becomes much more difficult. So you're not going to get very far over that way unless you're a little bit of a contortionist. And then you simply go out as far as you feel comfortable. That's when you really need a cane. You might need a cane in each hand. If you're going that far, you're probably going too far anyways, overdoing it. And that's a real nice dynamic single leg balance.
We did have a couple questions. So Wahid asks, need balancing after my ankle fracture. Thanks. Wahid, you can rewind this live or watch it later. Again, we just went over that. Someone else actually had the same type of issue, and we talked about a wobble board and different balance exercises. So just rewind the video and you will see that part. Then we had a question from Musai. We're talking about disc bulge. Unfortunately, in this video, we're only going to be talking about balance stuff. We did have lots of videos on your exact problem. So just search Bob and Brad and some type of disc bulge. And there's plenty of videos to watch there. And Brad's shoes, what brand are they? Well, there's lots of different brands for this. What are those? Keens?
No, these are Merrell.
Oh, Merrell. Sorry.
Yeah, these are for running, specifically for running. They cost a little bit more, so you can get the.
There's tons of brands out there that make good shoes. We don't really have an affiliation with any of them. These are $45 shoes from Amazon called Wittin.
How do you spell it?
Whitin. My running shoes are Ultras. They're also Zero Drop. It's ALTRA. There's lots of brands. There's Zero XERO. There's literally probably hundreds of them. I can't keep up with all of them, but everyone I've tried have been fine. I haven't had any issues with any of them.
So Zero Drop means the thickness of the sole in the forefoot and the heel is the same. This is a minimalist. It means that the sole is extremely thin. You can feel what you're walking on. And for me, they're too thin because if I run on them and there's any gravel, you can feel it and it's uncomfortable, particularly on my Mortons and Romas. So I would not jump into minimalist Zero Drop right away because it's a big surprise if you're used to cushion shoes.
Marilyn lost us because an ad popped up. You can rewind the live, Marilyn, and you can catch what you missed, or just rewatch it later. Ads do pop up sometimes.
You know something? I want to add something because we're getting close to the end, and there's some really nice ways to work dynamic balance, but you do need a ball. So, and I've done with this a lot of people. Where's that chair? Even seniors, I do this with, but then I hold on to them. So, if you're fairly steady, put a chair behind you if you want to sit down, but you simply stand with your feet farther apart and bounce the ball. That really changes things. You might have good balance statically, but when you're doing something with your hands and your attention goes away from balance into an activity like bouncing a ball, that can make a big difference. On the other hand, if this feels really easy, you might be able to dribble it with one hand. That changes the balance. That may be more than anybody needs unless you're into a sport. One hand is enough, or you can simply bounce it off the wall underhand like this. Da-dee-da, and that's a nice way to do it. And then depending on your level, that may be as far as a lot of people will go. And there's a chair to sit down. But if you're more athletic and younger, you'll go to one leg bouncing and dribbling, one leg bouncing on the wall, turn to the side and go sideways, both legs, one leg. I've done this with people that have a stroke that are higher level stroke and turn the other side, and one side is much more difficult that is involved. And work it that way. So there's a lot of little things you can do with a ball, and simply rolling the ball up and down on the wall, both feet, go to one leg and you can hold here. This is a nice one for people who are need a challenge, got that weaker leg, but yet you're doing dynamic mobility and it's quite safe.
You identify as young and athletic because you said young and athletic people can do this, and then you did it. So
I don't know. What are you talking about? I know I probably misspoke. Anyways, yeah, if you're young and athletic,
he's just showing off. Anyway, let's
I'm saying that you can do high level stuff.
You can
simply.
Anyway, the next one we're going to talk about is actually a strengthening exercise, but balance as well, and that is doing some sort of lunge variation.
Good one.
You have to make sure you have good range of motion and you're steady and you can go all the way down with a lunge. So a lunge is just 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, lunge down, and then come back up. If you really struggle and you don't have good range of motion, you can hold on to a countertop, a cane, walking stick, just go down part way. If your knees are sensitive, put a pillow underneath you, and you can kind of do lunges this way. This is a large staggered stance. If you look at the camera this way, you can see my feet are not overlapping. They're spread out a little bit, but any type of lunging variation is going to work your balance as well. If this seems way too easy, you can just do a step forward lunge, come back, switch legs, and you can do lunges in place like this. If you want to make it more challenging, you can start forward and you can go backwards. So then you're going to work a little bit different muscle groups, a little bit different balance option here. And if this is really easy, you can even get into a lateral lunge or side lunge, go sideways as far as you comfortably can, come back to center and work that way. Make sure to work both legs, and you can do 2 to 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps per leg. Just build up over time if you're new to them, and make sure you're safe before progressing with these.
Yeah, this is a really good example of strengthening the ankles, the knees, the hips, and the quadriceps, and working balance forward and backwards, right to left. This is really good for getting you ready to get out and do some, say, for example, hiking on uneven surfaces or playing an activity.
Connie says mini lunges, please. Yes, mini lunges are fine. Start where you need to start.
Yeah, yep. As a matter of fact, some people may only get to mini lunges going so far down. You may have a knee problem, or
that's a mini squat.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, the same thing. If you do the lunge,
just a mini lunge.
Yep, just doing back like this. You know, it might work fine to just go up and down on one leg until it fatigues, and then switches, or do it.
Vicky, if someone has balance issues, they modify it like this, or they do the ones we talked about earlier. Everyone's at different levels of balance, so that's why we're just showing some options.
Yeah, we've been here for about 50 minutes, and some of the earlier static stretches were more are all applicable, and these kind of crisscross and overlap.
The dynamic balance stuff is more high level functioning than some of the early ones. So if you're in that phase, simply rewind the video and you can check out the early phases. These are a little bit more progressed. The next one are actually step ups. So you can do these lots of different versions. Are you talking about step ups or step taps? You're talking about actual step ups, right?
Well, you can just do the toe taps and then go into step up.
So what you can do if you're a real beginner working on balance, hold on if you need. If you don't have to, and just lift one foot up, tap, and then go back down on a step like this. It makes you work on single leg balance with a weight shift, trying to hold control. Again, if you really need to hold on. This seems way too simple. You can try crisscrossing. So you go left foot reaches over to the right foot reaches over to the left, and I'm doing this in an alternating way. So I have to constantly be shifting my weight from side to side while doing this. If this seems way too simple, you can work on some type of step up or step down progression. It's more of a strengthening with balance. So what you can do is put one foot on the step and then step up and then come back down. And I'm just going to leave that foot up there the whole time. If I'm strengthening my right leg here, say I did 10 reps already, I can switch and go the opposite side, and we can do 10 reps this way as well. If you have one side weaker, maybe just focus on that side a little bit more. If you want to make it more challenging for balance, then you can try not holding on, and you can actually alternate legs. We'll make it a lot harder. And if these seem simple, you can try just going different directions. You can try going sidestepping. You're going to work your hips a little bit more, as well as doing some knee bending here. If you want to make it more challenging, just go down slower. This is a lot harder, barely touching the floor and popping back up, than falling down and going up like this. This is way simpler because I'm pushing with this leg. But if you want to challenge your balance on the leg on the step, go down slow, just touch, come back up. And you can even do this going down the stairs. You can touch the floor, pop back up, try to control the leg on the step, and try not to just flop down and flop back up. Obviously, your strength and balance will determine what level you're at with any of these, but those are just some options using a step.
All right, so Lisa or Karen and Vicky are concerned about us doing too high a level, the lunges and some of that. So let's go back. If those lunges are too difficult, and we realize those are pretty difficult, they're higher level for more active type of people, maybe younger. Start like this. If you're using a walker, put the walker in front of you on a firm chair with good armrests. And if you cannot stand up like this without push off, that's perfectly fine. Use your hands, push up. And then when you're here, you have something to hold on to so you feel steady. Reach back for the armrest, sit down nice and slow. Don't plop down, and see if you can do that. A nice, slow, controlled stand up. We're strengthening the legs, working on our balance, only touch if we need to. Do that 10 times. Now, if that's too easy, the next step is putting your hands on your knees. That helps assist to get up. Get up nice and tall. Squeeze those butt muscles together because those glutes are important to really get them working. And then back down nice and slow. And as you progress, it goes from 2 hands to 1 hand push off. 1 hand coming down good and slow, and then no hand. And that's a big step, and that really works your balance more. That's a nice goal to get to. You may only be able to do 1 or 2 of those, then you have to go back to the hands on and the goal of 10. Do that once a day, and as you get better with it, you can do it twice a day. So I hope that that helps out. Was it Karen and
Lisa
Lisa?
and Vicky.
Vicky, yeah. So very good.
Next one is actually some hip swings. Now, Brad, are you talking about the extreme hip swings here like runners do, or just little ones? Because I'm not sure what you were going for.
Well, that's a good question.
You get started. If it's the advanced hip swings, I can show them, but I'm not sure which one you were talking about.
Well, do what you're thinking of, and I'm starting to sweat.
Usually what I do for hip swings is you stand in place, hold on to something. I even hold on to a countertop quite frequently. And you could just start by swinging your leg forward and backwards, keeping a nice, good upright posture. If you struggle with balance and this is hard, just do little swings like this. If you are more balanced and you like to do more active things, or maybe you're athletic, what you can start doing is actually swinging with a little more momentum behind it. Again, keeping good posture. This is going to work your balance. I do this more or less to open up my hips before I go running, but you can modify this for anyone and just make it a lot simpler like this. And then we also want to go the other direction, which is sideways. Now with sideways, you can go out, but you're going to whack your other leg. So you normally have to either go in front or behind your stance leg. I often like to go in front because it feels better. Again, I would be holding onto a countertop right in front of me, but for filming purposes, this is probably a little easier. Brad, can you move that walker forward?
Oh,
I can see it's in the shot a little bit. Thank you. So just swing side to side. I like to do a little momentum. I still like to keep my toes somewhat straight ahead. If you really want to work on your rotation, you can go a little more extreme like this. But notice I'm not swaying my whole trunk over to the side. I'm keeping a nice upright posture. And oftentimes I'll do 10 to 20 swings on one leg, and then I'll switch and do it on the other leg as well. But those are just some hip swings. Again, if that's too challenging, you can just do little hip swings like this if you do not feel safe doing larger ones.
all right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I usually just face a wall, hold on to the wall gently, and lean into it a little bit, and do some right to left swinging. And then this way, you may have a cane here. And the idea is for me is just to let that leg relax, let that hip capsule. If you got some hip arthritis, it's a nice way to get the hip capsule and the hip joint to loosen up before you do some exercises or walking. And it's good for the balance as well.
Joanne says this entire session is pure gold, adding us to my daily balance regimen. Again, just pick which ones you like, but that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I would just pick 2 to 3, honestly, that really help you out, and stick with those ones. At least do them 3 days a week. You can certainly do them more frequently if you have the time and the motivation, but consistency is key with a lot of balance things. Oftentimes in the clinic, we'll see people poor balance. We'll get them better and more balanced to a certain baseline again. And then if they forget to or start slacking on their exercises at home, we see them again in like 3 to 6 months. So stay consistent with it, and you don't have to see us as much.
Yeah, and if you didn't see the beginning, a really good was the how to test your balance if you're able to stand on one leg. Again, you're going to go, and I'll just go through this to help finish up as we're near the end. Stand on one leg and see if you can go 30 seconds on one leg, slight bend in the knee. If you've got pain and whatnot, this may be too advanced for a lot of people. Then you'll just see if you can stand on one foot for a few seconds and then count it out. Up to maybe 5 seconds might be your goal. Younger people, more active people will go for 30 seconds and then see if you can hold it without touching the wall and doing that. And then write it down on a note, put the date and tell you how easy. Oh, I went 30 seconds without touching on my right leg and I went 14 seconds on my left leg, and then write it down. A month later, after you've worked some balance exercises and you've just been getting stronger, this might be a case of after an injury, do the same test and look at your old test because you can remember it because you wrote it down. It's in your cell phone, whatever. Really good way so you know you're making progress.
One last balance option we have that's more
Ooh.
dynamic is actually weaving, or we just have two objects here, so we can say figure eight. You can pick whatever objects you have at home. You can use, I don't think most people have cones at home. Whatever small objects you have. I wouldn't do glasses in case you step on
Well,
it,
like
they
I
break.
did the other day, get a roll of toilet paper out, a new
Yeah.
one that can't unroll.
That video is coming out soon. It's not out yet. But
So,
anyway,
I just want to mention this. If you're using a cane or a walker, don't even consider this because we do this with patients that use cane or walker, but we've
Or-
got a gait belt on them and we're holding them.
or
this is-
do it with your assistive device.
Yeah, you could do that, but you really need to feel steady because
So
it's could be dangerous.
if we're weaving and we just have two objects here, it's going to basically look like a figure eight. So all you do is walk one direction, and then you're going to turn around and then go back the other direction, and you're weaving in between your objects at all times. Obviously, the further apart they are like this, the easier it'll be. You can take your time and go slow. Notice I'm taking small, short steps. Typically, if people have balance issues, they're going to take smaller, controlled steps, not go as quick. If you feel more balanced, you can take normal steps and you can weave as quick as you want, as long as you don't feel dizzy or like you're going to lose your balance. If you want to make it more challenging, you can certainly do more objects or just make the gaps a lot smaller. This is going to make your tights a lot turner and a lot more challenging. This is like if there's an object on the floor, you have to step around. What did I say? Did I say something funny? Anyway, your turns are a lot tighter. Sorry. You can just weave around objects like this. So if there's something on the floor, you have to get around or between, you can become more confident in that.
A nice thing to use. We probably wouldn't. I would never use something like that.
I wouldn't either, but they were just convenient.
Yeah, and what I thought, well, what everyone can get very quickly and cheaply is what's this called again?
Shelf liner?
Shelf liner. Cut it in a circle if you want, and if it's on a hard floor, it won't slip. You can step on it. It's grippy. It's safe. You can see it well, particularly if it's a light color and you put a dark color floor. I've used this a lot in the clinic, and I'll have these round dots in a number of places, and it works good. So shelf liner, if you got some, if you don't, go to the dollar store, pick some up for $1.25. You'll use it for spotting on the floor for balance.
And that's all of our 20 tips. If anyone has some questions, feel free to still ask them. We'll be live for a little bit. But for these lives, there's a whole team, not just Brad, Bob, and I, but there's two camera guys, Danny and Tanner, keeping things afloat.
Yes.
So say thank you to them, and also Chelsea for watching and adding all the links, and everyone else.
Yeah, it's quite an ordeal, and we appreciate everyone's help. And I don't know how many people we got out there, like 14 million watching.
I don't know if there's quite that many watching right now, but maybe they'll watch it later. We will be live next week. Brad is going on a trip somewhere. I don't know where. So I'm going to be live with Rick, and we're going to be taking all your questions about pain or any issues you may have relating to physical therapy, and we'll do our best to answer them. We'll be live at 10 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday. So Rick Olderman's a physical therapist we work with. He wrote a book with Bob called Top 3 Fix. He has many books of his own. We are pretty big fans of his, so we will be live next week.
Yeah, if you get into talk to him, you'll definitely be getting some high-level expert
Mondo
advice.
says 115 watching.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Well, last week it was only 114, so we're up one.
Kathleen, you can rewind this on Facebook. It'll be up there for 30 days. You can watch it again, or you can watch it on YouTube. Just go to our channel, click the live section, and you'll see this 20 balance exercises video. You can rewatch it anytime. Add whatever. The box step.
And that'll be up for 30 years, I think.
I don't know, whatever the shelf life is. The box step is nice activity. Everyone, that is a nice activity. Yes, the step one is pretty good. So,
We didn't show the box step,
I
did
think
we?
they're talking about this.
Oh, okay. Because
Those
there's
are
a box
stairs.
step that I've used as well. The tape that's on the floor, you can use it for a nice finger wrap if you sprain your finger.
Well, there's not a lot of questions. People just saying thank you to the whole team.
We are starting to wrap it up here. It's kind of warm in the studio today. Like I said, it's very humid here.
We need to hydrate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back next
Very
week.
good. Thanks for coming, and everything is going very well here, and I hope everything is going the way.
Bye,
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes, goodbye.
Thanks
and
for the 14 million. watching.
you're very, very, we're grateful for you. So be careful. Everyone be careful.